This How to New Florida segment is presented by Visit Florida.
You know, Florida's history is steeped in mystery, legends, and secrets. And one of the greatest events in world history happened on a July night 300 years ago. We begin our journey into the past in 1715. At the time, Spain relied heavily on the wealth and treasure it brought back from the New World. Known as the Treasure Fleet from 1566 to 1790, Spanish galleons would cross the Atlantic twice a year. These ships were filled with unimaginable riches to be presented to the King and Queen. The morning of July 24th, all 11 ships were loaded, ready for their journey to Spain. They left Havana, Cuba with the wind and tide behind them. But just 7 days into their journey, their worst fears would become reality. What they didn't know was they were sailing directly into a massive hurricane. This is 1715. There's no GPS or weather reports. The only way for a sailor to know there's a hurricane coming is after he's already in one. The ships did everything they could to survive the storm, but 100-mile-per-hour winds and pounding rain kept pushing the ships toward the coast of Florida. By morning, all ships had crashed into the shallow reefs, their hulls breaking apart and spilling treasure into the raging waves. You know, the 1950s saw a boom in treasure hunting right here in Florida. Many shipwrecked salvers found millions of dollars in gold and silver and became famous around the world. It's these legendary men and women that are the reason we call this part of Florida the Treasure Coast.
One of these legendary salvers and 1715 historian is John Brandon, who was part of Mel Fisher's expedition that found the Atocha in the Florida Keys in the 1980s, where an estimated $450 million in Spanish treasure was recovered.
Hang on, I want to show you something. I got a silver bar from the Spanish galleon Atocha.
What?
How about that?
Oh my gosh.
How about that?
Is
You're
insane.
holding real treasure there. That's something.
So what is this mark right here, John?
Okay, this mark is the owner's mark. This
Yeah.
bar was being shipped back to him. The circular stamp shows that the king's 20% was taken out. This is the assayer's bite. They took a chunk of metal, they weighed it, then they refined it to absolutely pure silver. Then they knew the purity of the silver. This particular bar is about 99.9% pure silver.
So is this a gold beach? I mean, is there a lot of gold here?
This gold ring right here, I found right there when I was 16 years old. It was the first gold coin I ever found on the beach. That first gold coin, it hooked me. I knew what I was going to do the rest of my life. Here, I got another little treat for you. Hold out your other hand here.
Now, what is this, John?
Now, this is a gold bar from the 1715 fleet.
Okay, now I'm ready to find my own piece of Spanish treasure.
Gary, I'm here to find Spanish treasure.
I'm looking for low spots on the lower beach, next to the water. You see how these hills, little hills,
Yep, it kind of
the
up and down.
Dips,
Yep.
that's where you're going to find treasure. There's so much gold and silver and precious jewels on these beaches.
Yep.
But you have to wait for Mother Nature, basically, to unlock Davy Jones' locker. And what happens is, 2 times a day with the high tides, the water will come in and it will take sand off the beach.
Revealing.
Yeah, it puts you closer to the gold and the silver.
Well, and the great thing about finding gold and silver on the beach here is it's finders keepers.
Oh, yeah.
So, Gary, what's the greatest thing you've ever found out here?
The greatest thing I ever found is in my left pocket.
What?
It just so happens it's been 10 years since this ring has seen the beach.
You have it with you?
Yep, I brought my Spanish treasure ring.
Oh my goodness.
That's 22.5 carat Inca gold with 9 flawless Colombian emeralds.
Inca gold.
Look at the colors. I mean, that is... Now you know why we're here. I can't keep away from this place.
Gary, that must have been an amazing day.
I will never forget that day. That was the day I found my find of a lifetime. It's the best treasure ring that's ever been found off the 1715 fleets.
You know, when you walk on the beaches here in the Treasure Coast, you are surrounded by history. Literally, it can be buried in the sand beneath your feet. I encourage you to come out here and visit this part of Florida and learn more about this historic shipwreck and the role it played on Florida's history.
This How to New Florida segment was presented by Visit Florida.